Hey, fight fans, welcome back to Carla Prusa MMA. I am Carla Prusa, and I'm with a familiar guest. We had him on here a few weeks ago. He's back. He made his big BKFC debut, picked up a very dominant victory over Anthony Foye. He is Mr. Rico DiSciullo. Rico, what's going on, brother?
What's up? What's up? Chilling. Back at it in the gym.
There you go. Already, it's like 2 days later, you made your
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
BKFC
hanging out. You
debut.
know what I mean, chilling.
Obviously the performance went very well for you. I mean, you had about 5 knockdowns in there. You were on the more dominant victories of the night. Overall, how did you enjoy taking the gloves off, man?
Oh man, I loved it. I think that format, like I was saying, that format is like tailor made for me. I mean, I've been fighting for competing, especially striking. That's my main base. But like I literally just kind of how I started was I got involved with MMA by bare knuckle fights. And to be honest, my style, I feel like for that format, I'm a dangerous man, and I know how to use that type of format. The 2-minute rounds. I think that we prepped very, very good for it. Like I got a cage over here that's pretty similar in the size of that ring. I think me and my coaches Eddie Alvarez, Kyle Bosniak, we did a good job like preparing and changing some things to getting more suited for that format. And it's like my style, I think it fits perfect there. I feel like I can do damage in a couple different weight classes. To be honest, like I don't have to worry about people laying on me. You know what I mean? It's a fist fight. You know what I mean? You got to be nasty, but you also have to be technically sound. Footwork and defensive. Your defensive knowledge is key. You have to be very, very aware of your range, your footwork, your space, and how to. And I'm always going to just do everything I can to cause damage no matter what. So it's like I feel like I'm a problem for anybody, and I could literally higher weight class, low class, for if it's around my weight, I'm a fucking problem. You know what I mean?
Are you surprised how tough he was?
I was very surprised. I fought I've trained with some of the best for a long time. I've fought a lot of good guys. Like that kid took a lot of damage, and I get it. It was a big platform. His Mohegan Sun, which is a huge fight venue. Mickey Ward, Toro Gotti fought there for their first fight. It's like it's a staple place, and it's a big arena. Like it's a sold out crowd. Um, I think after like the third knockout, I was like, dude, don't get up, don't even do it. Like, and he just, that kid was game for sure. He was actually, he had a lot of heart, like a lot of heart. Like, I told him too. I gave him a lot of respect because of that. Like, I hit him with some body shots, man, that like were devastating, like absolutely devastating. And not only that, like I hit him with an uppercut in the eye, dude. I thought I broke his face. Like I heard it pop. I don't know where he's at now, but I know it's. But I told him, I had a quick conversation. I was like, man, you got the heart, man. You just got to keep putting in the work. It's just, I think an experience thing. Like I've been doing this for a while, so I'm not an easy out for anybody. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is what it is, part of the game. You lose, you learn, move on, but mad respect for him for sure.
After the 4th knockdown, did you have a feeling that it was only a matter of time before you were going to get him out of there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought, yeah, there's no way it was going to go the distance after I think it was the second round right off the bat. I started getting really, really closer and comfortable, and to the point where I knew my range so well, and I already dug to the body to him so much that he was slowing down. Like the body shots slowed him down so much that I could creep a little bit even deeper into the pocket and start pulling out some. So every time he threw a jab, I think he threw one jab, I came pulled real quick right over the top with a cross, laid him out on his back, and right from there I was like, all right. Now it's just don't get stupid, don't get overconfident, and do something dumb and leave yourself exposed where you can get lucky and or throw something crazy because it's bare knuckle. Realistically, let's be real. Like if he says fuck it and throws just a solid jab and I come in at sloppy, you can get cut real bad or you can get knocked out on a jab. Like you have to be cautious of your range and what you're doing because you know not even necessarily knocked out, you can get cut. You know what I mean? If you get cut over the eye and you can't see, they call the fight.
One thing I love about bare knuckle is the fact that I think you really have to know how to use your weapons. When you have the gloves
Yeah.
on, you can throw like crazy. You don't have to really worry about much breaking the hands. But obviously, when you're doing bare knuckle like this, since this was your first time, were you in there thinking, all right, do I throw the 2 here? Do I throw the 3? Did that thought process come in your head?
No, I'm never the biggest thing. That's why I really didn't even have a big warm up at all. I probably warmed up for 2 minutes, like, and I was just sat and just waited because I prepped so well for this, and I think I'm, I'm I'm physically suited for this type of format. Like I love it. Like and I was confident in it because I've worked hard for this for a long time. And everybody, when it comes to this type, like we practiced this type of style, and I was doing very 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 well. You know, obviously we weren't fighting bare knuckle, but we was fighting with smaller. We were practicing with smaller gloves and 2 minute rounds. And I know how to. I can push the pace. I can sit back. I can fight backwards. I can fight southpaw, which is a big thing. I can fight orthodox, and I know how to, change angles, get off the center line, and just confuse people, and they don't even know what's coming. So I don't really try to plan what I'm doing because then that will make me slower. It'll make me. I rather go out there, and I'm more reactionary. You got to be able to adapt and just work on instinct and just what you see because then you're fast. If you're going with the flow, it's just automatic. I'm on autopilot. I'm just in the zone, seek and destroy, find the opening, see where he's made, where my fakes are or whatever I'm doing to find the holes and the gaps to get the finish. That's it. It's more of just all the years of putting in the work and letting it kind of develop as it goes.
Going into this, did you have a feeling that the body shots would make a difference?
I did a little bit. I honestly, with my plan, my thought process was to set it up a completely different way. It just, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? It just, there was an opening there the way that it happened. I think it's because the uppercuts to the face. I think that uppercut that I hit him in the eye like really changed everything. So once I got close to a clinch, he was so scared that to happen again that he would cover it up so high that his ribs were exposed. So there was a couple times in the fight where I hurt him and I had a frame on the back of it, like on his head, and I was kind of waiting to see is he covering the body or the head. I was a little patient, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to just stop throwing. You punch bare knuckle with an elbow, you break your hand. So you got to be accurate. You got to be calculated. So these are things that we thought about, and I feel like I executed pretty well. I was very calm, composed, and I felt really comfortable. And honestly, you know, I'm down for this. Like this is the difference. Is like I know I can be a bad motherfucker, and cause a problem to anybody and weight any division around my weight. Like I walk around at probably around 155 pounds. I used to fight at 30, 35. This is like without a diet. Like I'm running around 155 just normally walking around. But when I have a fight, I trim down, I diet, blah, blah, blah. So I can fight from anywhere from 35, I think, to 55, honestly. I don't care about size because nobody can lay on me and slow me down. Like, size ain't going to make you win fights, and there's skills. Skills are paying the bills. You know what I'm saying? The skills are going to take care. So whoever wants it at any of those weight classes, I feel like, I obviously also, too, don't want to just jump the gun and try to fight for a title, blah, 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 because I want to get a little more experience in there. There's things I want to, there's things I still want to do in there with, like, to figure out, except there's some positions I didn't get to be in yet. You know what I mean? I want to have a little more experience, but I'm definitely looking to come back for sure.
That crowd was going absolutely insane for your fight. Did you hear
Yeah,
that? Were you
loved it.
feeding off of it?
Peabody in the house, baby. Peabody in the house. Charles was there. My boy, my best friend, Charles Rosa. He flew in from Florida, so we had like our old Peabody squad there. Like, I don't know if you saw it or heard, like everybody was, chanting and getting wild mid fight. It was fantastic. It was a beautiful thing. I got a shout out to my son's birthday. It was fantastic.
Speaking of which, obviously, your son has been part of your training camps before. He sees what you've done. What was his reaction to this when you told him, you're going to fight, but this time you're doing it without
Oh
gloves?
man, I don't know. I think he even enjoyed it more the fact that he got to see, his birthday get shout out and by like however many people, it was like 13,000 people or whatever it was, and see it at home because I know he was a little bummed out he didn't get to go because he's been in my corner in the past, but this was different. I wasn't really exactly sure what to expect. It's bare knuckle. It can get real nasty. I didn't want to have that. Uh, I just didn't want to have to worry about how he's feeling about, you know what I mean? I didn't want that to be a distraction, not, but it worked out perfectly because he got to watch and, I got, everybody to give him his birthday shout out. And, he was just excited that it went well.
One thing I always wondered, from looking at the inside from out, when you're getting hit with the bare knuckle compared to the glove, what's the difference? What's the feeling?
Well, the biggest thing with me, if you watch me fight, I do my best not to get hit, to be honest. But the thing I think about with bare knuckle compared to other stuff is like the energy and the format, you have to come out hot. You know, you have to come out hot, or at least be prepared to be engaged in that type of fire battle. Because if you're not mentally there, to be honest, like your adrenaline early on will help through a lot of stuff. You can even take a big shot. Not that you should, but I'm saying like it's more about your mentality to the start of the paces of things. Because like if you're not prepared, you know, it'll shock you because maybe it feels different or this or whatever. But I feel like I've done it before. I've been hit in the face with knuckles. So just because this was my bare knuckle debut, I've been in a lot of fights, like a lot of fights. So I was literally I didn't even think about it. Didn't even cross my mind, to be honest.
What have the reactions been like since the fight? Social media blowing up, text messages,
Yeah,
and everything.
too bad I don't got I don't have my Instagram. You know what I mean? My Facebook's coming back, I guess, but that's like my friends and family. Like it's it's just like people I see every day. So, but it's cool because that's what it's about. That's the only thing I really give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Is like the people that've been supporting me from day one. You know, the kids in the gym right now. You know, the next generation. My friends, my family, my kids. You know what I mean? That's all I really. That's all. That's why I do it.
McGregor reach out to you at all?
I used to talk to him all the time through Instagram, so that's what's killing me. Like all my contacts are through Instagram. I don't got his personal number. I don't. I'm not. It'll be cool. It'll be cool if he does because he already knows because he knows me and he knows my style because like he was my coach for a while. So he's like, before this even happened, he's like, Rico, striking, you're a superstar. They don't want to touch your backhand. He's like, just let's work. This is when I was mostly focused on MMA. He's like, work off the cage every day, work on the ground like every day. He's like, nobody's gonna want to touch you standing up. Like he's told me this 1,000 times. He's like, you just gotta grind. But now it's like, do I even want to even bother putting in the effort for that right now when I can go to bare knuckle and just let it rip? You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I feel comfortable there, man. It's. I don't know. I don't know. I might be hooked with it. Like I just really felt at home in there. Obviously, I had not exactly my home crowd, but a lot of my people took the trip, so it felt like it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you heard the crowd, and it felt like that was my hometown. You know what I'm saying? It was great.
10 years ago, would you ever envision yourself doing something like this?
I've been envisioning this my whole fucking life, fighting in an arena like that. Like I've actually fought there before, but I was earlier in the prelims, so it wasn't a sold out crowd. Like, and that was when I made my debut for Bellator, it was in that building. So it was really cool to come back 10 years full circle. But now it's sold out. It's all eyes on me. Time for me to shine. Time for me to showcase what I've been able to do for so long and what I've been grinding to do for so long. It was like in front of my people, my friends, my family. You know what I mean? It was awesome. It was like it's just it's a long time coming.
We've talked about this a little bit before, but you're a type of guy. You fought on Bellator. You've been on the Ultimate Fighter. You had one of the biggest knockouts ever on the Ultimate Fighter. But I don't think you've really broke the surface yet, man. I think you're one of those dudes that is a star but hasn't broke through. Do you feel like you're in the right trajectory to do that now?
I think at this point in my life, this is in timing for my career. I think I think that everything happens for a reason in a way sometimes with me. Like, you can't always look at everything as a bad thing. Sometimes the bad things are good things. You know what I mean? Like sometimes a lot of good things come out of whatever at the moment you're thinking is really bad. Maybe this was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm going to come over here this is the way I feel. I'm going to go over to BKFC and just start cleaning house. You know what I mean? And, finally start making some decent money, finally start, you know, living showcase and everything that I've been trying to do my whole life. You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna pan out. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it happen. I ain't got no choice. It's happening.
There's so many sacrifices we talked about before being a fighter, all the birthdays missed, starting off not making any money, jobs, dealing with kids, wife, the whole 9 yards. But after performances like that, does that make it all worth it?
It does, and it does, and it doesn't though. Because so the thing is, it's funny because I'm at a place where I'm comfortable with everything. I'm doing this for my soul. You know what I mean? It is definitely like this whole fight game's a roller coaster, man. You got to be comfortable with you have to be okay with it ending tomorrow. You know what I mean? If it ends tomorrow, am I going to turn into an asshole because I can't fight anymore and this or whatever? I'm not going to change my personality or my things because I'm frustrated. I'm not. I know I've given it everything. That's all I care about. Is the only thing I can control is that. I can control that in my heart. I know I've done everything I can to give myself the best opportunity to be where I want to be by, with fighting. So as long as I do that and I keep doing that, I'll be cool with it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm on that cusp of bursting the bubble and really getting to that, that next fight. Everybody's gonna know who I am a little bit.
Your best friend Charles Rosa, he did some bare knuckle last year. Did his move to bare knuckle, did that kind of help influence you to want to do this as well?
Yeah, definitely a little bit. I mean, I like that whole idea too. A game bred. I was, who knows? I might do that as well. Dude, like, I'm not saying MMA is over, but I just got really, really enjoyed, not having to worry about anything else but fists. I loved the whole promotion over at Game Bred. They did an amazing job. Like, it's interesting, man. It's like, it's wild. 15 years in and this new sports kind of coming out of this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in a weird position where I'm like, I got some decisions to make. Um, but I think this for sure shows people who I am and what I'm about when it comes to fighting. Like, it shows like just my tenacity and my heart, like how I like to like come out and perform. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put my foot on the gas and we're gonna fight. It's gonna be a real fight. The fans are gonna enjoy it. Everybody's gonna. There is no chance in hell I'm gonna go in there and it's gonna be people are gonna be boring. People are gonna be running back to their seats to make sure that they see it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you take a lot of pride in that? Take a lot of pride in being a fighter that, the fans, when they see your name on there, they get excited?
I'm just gonna go in here. It's getting a little loud. It's starting to hit the pads. Say that again.
You take a lot of pride in, being a guy where they see your name on it. They know fireworks are coming. They know it's going to be a fun
100%. What do you mean? That's what it's all about. I want to make sure everything say, oh, Rico's on this card. This is going to be incredible. This is going to be fireworks. That's exactly what I do it for. That is 100%. That is it. That's what I've always done it for. I do it for for the people. That's what it's for. You know what I mean? It's like, also, I do it for me. It's a selfish sport. You got to do it for yourself. I do it but that is definitely, a big plus,
When you're coming out,
I feel like that's just part, like it works together because if I just go out there and fight the way that I want to fight, they're gonna get what they want too. You know what I'm saying?
when you're coming off of a win like this, what's that high like? How long do you feel it?
So to be honest, I try not to get like years ago when I was an amateur. Like I'm talking, I would be like, oh, we're going out for the weekend. We're going, Now it's like I went home, showed my son the videos. That was the best, just chilled. I'm running around. It's nice to go back to my gyms and like be appreciated and everybody like shows some, they show so much support. It's like it's awesome. It's the best feeling because it's like, oh, okay, all these things that I've been teaching them, this, that, whatever. I showcase some of that stuff, and it's like, oh, it really worked. It vindicates some stuff, and it just makes you feel good, and it's it makes it just puts a little bit of extra belief in yourself. But I've always believed in myself. I've never had that any doubt. It's just about getting those opportunities and making it happen. You know what I mean?
There were multiple guys from your area fighting on that card as well. I mean, it was absolutely stacked. I mean, DeCastro was on there. Parker Porter was on there. Brennan Ward was on there. Brennan Ward picked up a huge finish. Looked very, very good in his debut. What was it like watching him, come back, try this new platform out, and, really
awesome. I love seeing all the New England OGs come out and kill it. You know what I mean? Like literally all those guys that you just mentioned been around for a long time. The first fight I ever watched live MMA fight was down over here in Wilmington, Massachusetts. Parker Porter versus John Jones.
Oh, you're at that one when it was
that was the first fight I ever went to in my life. First MMA fight. A week later, I'm at Sit Your Tongue, Boston. No, actually, I was already at Sit Your Tongue, Boston. It was like right around that time when I first signed up to sit in Boston with crew Mark Delagrati. So, but isn't that crazy? I'm on the car with Parker. It's just wild how in his career is crazy because he started, he took some time off, comes back, then he finally gets into the UFC after grinding. So like the New England guys are just gnarly, man. They just don't quit. That's one thing around here, I don't know what it is, something in the freaking water, but it's definitely like we have that. You know what I mean? Like we definitely have that toughness, that mental toughness. Maybe it's all the fucking snow we have to shovel.
So one thing that I've understood from guys like Rob Font, Calvin Cater, they like to play golf. They like to go to the golf course.
No. They try to play golf. I play golf. I'm an eight handicap. They try to play golf. They play a little bit.
What's going on? Are you going out there playing with these guys, and are you the winner?
I mean, I'll go out and give them lessons. Yeah, sure. If they want some lessons, they can come out with me anytime.
You know, one thing I want to know from you, obviously being from Boston, Boston City of Champions, all the great sports teams we've had over the years between the Bruins, the Celtics, Patriots, Red Sox. What's your Mount Rushmore top 4 Boston athletes of all time?
Oh, it's hard to say. Boston athletes?
Just anybody who's played on a Boston-based team.
Shit, dude. I mean, obviously Tom Brady is the absolute goat of all time. You know what I mean? But damn, everybody forgets Larry Bird. Larry Bird, if he didn't get his back, his back hurt, he was unbelievable. I mean, shit, Tatum's up there right now. He's on his way to be the next best. There's just so many. I can't even. Let's see. Let's go. I mean, baseball. I want to talk about baseball. Pedro Martinez, baseball Martinez, David Ortiz. That team was ridiculous. Randy Moss was here for a little bit. We had Randy Moss for the Patriots. That was incredible. Their 16-0 run. That's a freak athlete. Hockey. We get a bunch of studs in hockey too. Bobby Orr. Go back to I mean, it's just forever. We'll be here for 2 hours.
You know, one thing I love about you Boston guys is you guys take so much pride of being from Boston. I mean, you rep it all the time. Look at Charles Rosa. I mean, Charles Rosa walks out with a Boston Bruins jersey. Is that just something that's common, man? Or you guys just so prideful of being where you're from?
I mean, shit, when you have a team that sucks forever and you fucking still watch it and love it. My favorite time watching the Celtics when they had Antoine Walker and they sucked and they were shit and we'd all go to my buddy's house and just root for them all the time. And every now and then they beat the better teams because they had a couple good guys. And watching Paul Pierce come from nothing and bring it all the way to the top, man, like that's what it's about.
Right now in your career, is this the most fun you've ever had fighting?
I think that yes, because I'm mentally prepared for everything. Like I think I'm in a different place. Like I'm more like zenned out. You know what I mean? I think I'm comfortable, and I'm. You know what it is? I got nothing to prove. Like I prove it to myself, and I do it for the love of the sport. You know what I mean? So it's like maybe in my career when I was younger and earlier, I was like almost. There was times where I would fight not to lose. So at times it'd be like maybe you're winning, you're like, and now there's like nervous energy and this or whatever. Like I just go out there and fucking try to take everybody out now. It's like I'm fighting to win every second of every fight. I'm letting it all out of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care no more in the best way. And I said it before the Ultimate Fighter. That's probably why I was like, I don't give a fuck in the best way possible. You're gonna have to kill me to get me out of there. Like I'm gonna show you what I got, and it's gonna be a lot. You better be able to handle it. And I feel like with this format for BKFC, I'm gonna be a problem for a lot of people.
Obviously, over your career, your skills have obviously improved, but do you feel like your mindset has improved as well? Do you think you've gotten mentally tougher over the years?
100%. I think that's the most important. I think that's way more important than people think. I think that, I mean, your mind is everything, right? Like you can do way more than we can all do more than we think we can do if you push yourself to those limits and you're willing to do it and understand that you can. You just have to accept it and do it. You know what I mean? It's so. Yeah, I think having kids also changed my outlook on things. You know what I mean? What really matters, just growth. Over time, it's life.
Has the goal changed for you since you started this journey?
A little bit. I want to just. I'm not so focused on like being the best in the plan. Well, I always want to be the best I can, but I'm saying like I don't want to. Like I don't need the titles. I don't need this. I don't need recognition. I just want to let it all out and take care of. Because I put in so much. I want to get paid, obviously, for what I do because that's what allows me to keep doing it. Really, So, but yeah, man, I want to get paid. I want to have something to give to my kids. I want to also like just put a stamp on it. Like I want everybody to know, like, hey, oh, I remember, oh shit, you remember Rico DiSciullo? The kid fought, like, he was wild, man, when he fought. Like, those fights were the most entertaining. You know what I mean? It's super skilled. You saw something different. You know what I'm saying? Something different. Something with, I just feel like my style, especially like I said for BKFC, where I don't have to worry about the takedowns as much. It's like I can really let things loose. I can flow. I can start switching. I can do things like that I don't think a lot of people have seen before. And really start showing how like you look at boxing and be like, oh, it's very traditional. There's only so much you can do, but there's a lot more things that you can do than you think. You know what I mean?
Do you want to be active to finish up the year? Well, I guess we just started the year, but do you want to be active throughout 25?
Oh, 100%. I want to get at least 2, 3, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to be very active right now. Right now, it's time to go. Let's go.
You think this is the year going forward? This is when you start really building your legacy?
Yeah, I think right now I'm my next fight. I don't care whoever it's with. I think it's gonna be one that's gonna really put me on the map again. Like really showcase. Okay, this kid's top talent, and he's willing to do what he's gonna do to like, to get some big finishes and put on a show for at any level. You know what I mean? So like for for everybody, any fan of combat sports. You know what I mean?
It's crazy when you watch the BKFC shows. I mean, they're getting bigger and bigger. They had the Knucklemania last week with Alvarez Stevenson. I mean, huge
Yeah,
crowd,
that was big.
big
Yeah.
names. Obviously, your place looked like it was sold out. Such high caliber. The fact that we have other organizations now very very respectful in addition to the UFC, does that just show how big mixed martial arts has become?
Absolutely. You got all different types of platforms now. You got what? I mean, what's it called? Combat karate. You got, like you said, BKFC, which is the bare knuckle. You got Game Breads, which is bare knuckle MMA. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's great because, I think all the fans are, it's like, they're all like kind of intertwined with sports. They're just becoming combat sports fans rather than, oh, I watch UFC. I don't watch boxing. It's like, no, we're just fight fans now. It's just everybody just loves fights. You know what I mean? It's entertaining.
I talked to Chris Lytle once and I asked him about the casual fans, and he's like, the casual fans are fans that don't know they like BKFC yet. Do you feel like,
Exactly. Oh my
you
God,
agree?
that's so good. That's so good because it's true. Like, oh my God, it's funny because I feel like I'm like, oh, bare knuckle boxing, blah, blah, I don't know. And now it's like, I think it's the best thing on the planet. Like, I'm dead serious. I honestly, it's my favorite form. I'm hooked now, for sure. Like, I'm a fan now. I'm already caught myself watching the different cards and this, that, whatever. I went home. I didn't even watch my fight. I went and watched other fights and stuff. I was like, oh my God.
Are there names, maybe potential
I don't I,
opponents?
I don't know any names yet. I don't, you know what I mean? Whoever they throw, I'm not even playing either. Like I'm just being honest. I don't, and I always focus on myself anyway. I'm not the guy to call people out. I don't care. There's something about that. I mean, people want to call me out. Go ahead. Then that changes. But like realistically, I just try to focus on, especially right now. My main focus right now is just grinding away in the gym, staying healthy, being prepared. That is it.
Do you rank this as one of the best performances of your career?
Yeah, for sure. Because I was just so comfortable and smooth. Like I was free. I felt very free in there. It was like, like Kyle Bosniak, one of my buddies that was in my corner, was like, dude, you've done everything that we've trained for and everything that we talked about that we wanted you to do. Like you listen without even knowing. Like we say, left hand high, whatever. Like everything I felt very just on point, very sharp, very prepared.
For you, what has been the highlight of your career? Is it the McGregor, the knockout on the show?
No, no. I think the highlight of my career was when I had my I fought for the main event for Combat FC after coming after like a lot of injury, of my knee, a lot of time off because of COVID, and then my knee surgery right after. So it was a big layoff. And I went through my training camp with my son, and I was like, "You want to be in my corner? You have to go through my training camp." So I went through my training camp day in, day out, day in, day out. He came with me. He actually did the pad work with me. And right before we go out, he's like, Dad, I watched the kid do pad work. He's pretty good. I know you're confident, but don't get cocky. He looks like he's got a strong hook. I'm like, okay. And then I got the finish and I got to carry him around the ring. And that was the best feeling ever because, you know, I went through it with him. He'll remember that forever and I'll remember that forever. So it's like, that was probably my favorite moment, but this is the next best.
Could you envision yourself doing anything else than this?
Yeah, I could. I don't want to. What do you mean? I'm just a regular guy that likes to fight, but it's just like I could be doing a lot of shit different. Trust me, I could be, you know. But no, man. To be honest, when I was a little kid, I was like, I'm gonna be a fighter. That's just what I always thought. Like I just thought I was a fighter. I thought like it's just one of those things that was just in me as a young age, and it's just part of my DNA. You know what I mean? So I just don't feel right when I'm not in the gym. It's like therapy for me. You know what I mean? It's just even just being around it. It's one thing that I like too. Is like coaching's done a lot for me too. I just started like teaching a couple classes here and there. Nothing crazy because I want to keep fighting. Like it takes a lot of time out of your schedule. So, but coaching is just something that, like, given to the next generation is big for me too. Like my son and, or teaching like, even just the average Joe that just wants to get in shape or just learn good technique and learn the proper way to do stuff. I enjoy it now for sure.
For you, is it almost surreal, when you have kids, young pro fighters, young amateur fighters, reaching out to you, being like, yeah, you inspire me, you motivate me to do this?
It's cool. It's really cool because I remember being that kid. You know what I mean? I don't take it lightly because like I remember looking up to certain like, oh man, this guy's so cool. He's this skateboarder or this whatever or whoever it is that and it's like you can have a big impact on them. You can turn them into a fight. Who knows? Maybe you like listen. You give him one pep talk and that's it. Now that kid's been the next 4 months of his life. He's like, Mom, take me to a gym. We got to go to the gym. We got to do this, and that just changed the whole course of his life. So you gotta look at those moments and not be too fucking cool for them and try to put yourself in their position. I think like those because that can really make an impact more than you think.
When your competing days are over, what do you want to leave back? What do you want people to know Rico DiSciullo by?
I just left my heart and soul in there, man. Like I gave it all. Like every time I go out there to fight, I'm doing it. I'm bringing my people with me in that cage, and I'm bringing their energy in that cage, with the ring or wherever I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they know they're in for a fucking fight party. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a party. When I'm in there, that like it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be violent, and it's gonna be, it's definitely, and it's gonna be anything but boring. It's gonna be extremely fun and just exciting. Get everybody together. That's why I like the local stuff. It's just like it's almost like reunions. We're bringing the family back, and everybody gets to see each other again. And I came back to the gym. They're like, "Oh my god, we had so much fun. I haven't been out like that in a while. I saw this so and so, and we saw this person. Like that's what it's all about."
Do you feel like you're going to be involved in combat sports some way, shape, or form for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I think now I know. Like at first I was like, I don't need it. I don't. I'll take. I want to do something. Like no fucking no way. I have to. I have to. It's a part of me at this point. It's been my whole life. I've been doing karate since I was like 6 years old. Then I was doing boxing. It's just been. I'm an athlete too. Like I played lacrosse. I just went to a couple months ago. We went to the Hall of Fame for one of my high school lacrosse team, like GBL champion thing. It's just like I'm a sports at. I'm a competitor. You know what I mean? But fighting is like that's like the ultimate. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm stuck in there like glue, man. I'm in it forever. I'm a lifer. For sure.
All right, last
Especially
question,
now with my
Rico.
son. You know what I mean? My son's doing jujitsu, and then I come back to the fights. I watch him. Then he comes in from the other room and he's got all his pads, and he's like, "Dad, let's do some pad work." I'm like, "All right, let's go." And he's sharp, man. He's got hands, dude. I'm telling you, he's definitely my kid for sure.
If he comes to you and says, Dad, I want to compete, I want to fight, what would your
Ugh.
reaction to that be?
I'd have to be his manager and like take over everything because I would have to have control of who he fights and how and like oh I wouldn't like it though, to be honest, especially like jujitsu competition, fine, do all wrestling, cool, but like I just don't want him getting hit in the head. He's my son, you know what I mean? But he's gonna get to a certain age where he's gonna be a young man and be able to make those decisions for himself. He's just gonna be completely prepped. It's nothing I can do after a certain time. I just want to
Obviously,
make sure if he does it, he's going to be completely committed and prepared because it's not a game.
you've obviously fought on regional promotions, different local promotions. One thing that I think that's happening in some promotions across the world now, you're seeing more and more guys with padded records. You see promotions kind of groom their guys, maybe throwing them guys they shouldn't. How do you think that's impacting mixed martial arts?
I mean, that's always been around in boxing. Like it's just like the biggest thing is like eventually you're gonna get exposed. It doesn't matter. I feel like you want to get to the top, okay, you do that, and eventually you're gonna get exposed. You got to fight. You got to fight good guys. No, especially now with amateurs. They got amateurs, right? Like when I was coming up, I was like the start of the generation that could fight amateur for MMA. So I pumped out a bunch of amateur fights. I tried to fight. I think I fought the number one guy in the East Coast on the Northeast. I mean, my fourth or fifth fight, and I don't even. I took like two jujitsu classes. It's like just starting to learn jujitsu, like literally. Not, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I think I was doing jujitsu for like a year. Seriously, you know what I mean? I'm already, so you gotta give you'll get hurt. You'll get hurt, and you'll end your career quick if you're doing that because sooner or later you're gonna get to a point where okay, let's go give them a test, and then you're not ready for it, and then it can be a problem. So it's not smart, but it just is what it is.
All right, last question for you, Rico. We still have a lot of 2025 left. In a perfect world, how does this year play out for you?
I get 3 or 4 more BKFC fights. I finish every single one, become a superstar, make some big money.
Rico, I hope it happens, my friend. As always, I love talking to you, and congratulations, dude. Very happy for your success here.
Thank you. Look at these mitts, dude. Oh, look at the swollen. Look at that thing.
Battle scars.
Looks like a fucking toaster oven. It looks like a club.
That's it for us tonight. That is Mr. Rico DiSciullo. I'm Carl Prusa. Stick around, Park fans. Hell yeah, brother. That was good, man.
That was good.